Hey everybody, Jimmy and Mike from the Gaming Gadget Grader. We're finishing up our review on the Golf Club 2. We've had it for a couple weeks now. Obviously, we played that first round for you, gave you our first impressions, and really fallen in love with the game. Mike, I think there's been a need for a really good golf simulator in the last, many years. Ever since Tiger, the series has kind of fallen off, and enter the Golf Club, and now the Golf Club 2. This is a really great golf sim.
Yeah, it does a really nice job of filling that void that was left by Tiger and what EA did. It's a well-rounded game. It looks gorgeous, and as you get used to playing it, you'll see by this video that as you get used to it and how the greens play and things like that, it's much easier, much more enjoyable being able to actually put up a good score.
So here we are in the main menu. We'll go through this pretty quickly. So play, obviously, is get into a game. Training is just that. You can get onto a putting green, you can chip a little bit, you can get on the driving range, learn some of the advanced shots, practice that stuff. Good place to start because this game is, I don't want to say technical, but obviously there's a lot of golf sim to it. It's more true to the game and less gimmicky and stuff like that. I think that getting the golf portion of it down, learning the different shots and how to approach things is important. So training is important. Then there's career, which is an opportunity for you to take your golfer through events and play against the computer, and you can hop into new events and play on different courses against the computer, and go through as many seasons as you want. Now, on the flip side, or rather in the same vein, there's an online society, and Mike, that's a little bit more, that's a career type of deal, but the online society is against actual players. So there's your multiplayer part, or at least part of the multiplayer part that you can play.
Yeah, it's really nice because you can, again, organize it with your friends, and not everybody has to be on at the same exact time, but there are certain limits that you can set as to when the rounds have to be completed, and, it's a nice way of keeping in touch with your friends and almost kind of like a fantasy football type style gig.
So here's Mike and I created one, and just kind of giving you a good idea of how you can do this. You can create an event, you can create the window by which you play it, you can pick the course that you want to play, how many rounds, how the end date, format, so on and so forth. Does it cost anything, in-game currency to play it, so on and so forth. And so there's that. So Mike talked about you can play with your friends, but you can also be in bigger groups based on your ranking. So our handicap, my handicap is a 6.6, which means I'm eligible for the amateur handicaps, and I can hop in and play against others on this celebration challenge that they are running right now at a particular course. So I can hop in, play my rounds, see where I rank, and win the purse based on that. So that's cool. There's always these other game created tournaments that are going on that you can hop in and try to win. But the online society's been kind of cool, where you can create a small group, but you can also be part of a bigger group. Now, next up is the course designer, and I'll let Mike take it from here.
All right, and let's just jump right into it. So we have a course designer option within the Golf Club 2, and I was very surprised by it. And I'll let you guys, judge for yourself. But it's pretty cool. And this looks like a very simple, basic menu. But the trees and the water layout, that's something to actually keep an eye on, and I'll show you that here in a second. So we're going to go to new course, and this is going to give us a little menu where we can pick the name of our course. Let's see, we're going to just make it something simple. Game and Gadget Grader. GGG. Our theme. A lot of different options. One cool thing to point out, winter, obviously that would be tough to see, the white golf ball in the winter and the snow. But one nice thing they've done is they have defaulted to have a colored neon golf ball. So if you do want to play in an Alaskan course or up in the tundra, you do have that option as well. We are going to go tropical. Now again, here's that background menu. You get the layout of the holes and where they're at. And as soon as it loads here we are. We are going to scroll down to terrain. Now this is kind of like a little slider option thing. Right now it's at the minimal amount of water you can have. I'm going to take it all the way up to 100 just so you can see the difference and the impact that it has on the map layout behind. So you change that. We'll go ahead and hit apply. And boom. A lot more water shows up. This is not a course I'd want to play on with there being that much water. Nobody would want to play on it. So let's go ahead and we're going to dial that back down to about 30. We'll be a little bit more reasonable about it. Alright. Same deal with the trees, plants, grass, rocks. If you want a lot of hills and up and down. Let's mess with that a little bit. There's a lot of different ways you can customize it and make it a real versatile course. So apply. We're going to take a little step back here. Layout. This we're not going to change anything on it, but the standard setup for an 18-hole course. 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s. We're not going to mess with that, but if you wanted to, you can go ahead and change that here. Moving on. Now, one thing I really like about this is it gives you the option to play it. To play it as you make it. We're not going to play it beforehand. It's a very, very simple, the green's pretty much flat at this point. But using the right analog stick, you can scroll around and pick a specific course or a specific hole to start on. We're going to start on hole number 1 here. To zoom, you hit R2 or L2 to zoom out. So we are going to get in here nice and tight for hole number 1. When you hover over it, it tells you what part you're on. So on the top left hand, you can see hole number 1. Our cursor is positioned on the green. It even shows you kind of a ball flight. It's saying that we should lay up. Of course, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to try and hit a draw into right on the green. We go for broke. So we're going to go ahead and start the tee box. We are going to sculpt the land. Now for this, we're going to zoom in a little bit. We want to have a little bit of fun with this. This looks like it's actually sunken in a little bit. We are going to raise it up a bit. Now, if you look to the left-hand side, you have different shapes of cursors and things that that you can select to kind of form the landscape that you want to. L1 and R1 to lower and raise it. So if we wanted to sink it down, that's pretty ridiculous. We're not going to do that, but we're going to raise it up a little bit. So there's that place. Give it a second for it to catch up, and there we go. Now we have our elevated tee box. It's pretty cool. We are going to leave everything else pretty much flat on this one. We got other stuff to do. So now create surfaces. This part, this is where you can add bunkers. We're not gonna mess with the green. Additional fairway if you want to expand the fairway or contract it and add some more rough. Surface number 1. I'm not sure exactly what that is. You can add cart paths. If you want to watch a tutorial, you can just hold down the central spot on the controller. We're not going to mess with cart paths right now, but there's a lot of different options that you can put in here. Hole settings, we are going to now go to edit hole. Nope, I lied. We're going to take a step back. We're going to go to environment. Actually, no, we're not. We already did that. We're going to take another step back. We're going to create an ad and place objects. This is what I've been looking for. So, this gives you the option to place more trees. This is in a tropical setting, so we are looking for some palm trees. And there's a pretty good variety of the different trees that you can select. So it's not all going to be the same exact tree. We're going to give this a little bit of an interesting placement. To make them taller or shorter, use the D-pad up and down. So let's not be crazy about it. But we're going to place a few more here. Might want a low draw on this. Alright, so there's our palm trees. Let's go ahead and use a different palm tree. Where's that one that's got a little bit of a lean? Here we are. So let's just put that here. I really like this feature. This is just this create a course, design a course option, something that can really add some life and longevity into this game and give it some return playability against your friends. And you know, you each can have tournaments and build your own tournaments off of courses that you've designed, and it's just a really cool thing, as you'll be able to see here in a second. It also gives you an opportunity to be a little bit silly with it, and I will show that. Rocks, so we're not going to mess with rocks. Plants, I'm just going to show you this real quick. If you have water, you can place lilies. But nice little plants, you know, some, you know, maybe around the tee box. Just a little aesthetic. Here we are. Alright. Now we're going to get to the fun stuff. Global objects. This is where it gets crazy. This gives you the opportunity, you can build fences and walls and you know, I'm not gonna mess with the fences and walls right now. I will tell you that I'm going to be building an 18-hole course that is set up like a zoo, and you'll be able to see the wildlife you can place here in just a minute. But with this, you can put buildings, you can place clubhouses. There's many different kinds. Some are pretty gorgeous. We are going to, let's just put it right there. Yeah, we're on the first tee. We can do whatever we want. So boom, there's that. Nice little terrace on the top. We don't need two of those. Washrooms gives you even an old school outhouse you can put. We're not going to do that. Some shelters, just some other little fine touch things that you'd see in a typical golf course. Lighthouse, big fan of the lighthouses. That's kind of weak. Let's do this one. I like that one. So we're gonna put that there. We're gonna rotate a little bit the other way so we get the good angle of it. Are you gonna want to put a lighthouse in every hole? No, you're not. But you know, it's something that'd be really cool to place. Other things, if you want a energy efficient course, you got a wind turbine that you can just place in here. So we're going to put that there. A helipad. I feel like that's a must for every golf course. We're going to put this right here. Okay. Alright. Townhouses. I mean, you can put an entire... There's one particular course that Jimmy and I play, and it basically set in the backyards of people's houses and homes. So you actually can replicate something like that. There's some pretty impressive houses as an option here, just on that real course. City. You can actually build a course within a large city. It's really, really just... I'm impressed by some of these options. The building types. There's many different building types. Office buildings. Old style, new style. It's just, there's so many different things you can put on here. Very, very cool. Camera towers, if you want that traditional golf feel. Let me zoom back in here so you can see what those look like. We'll put one here. There's just so many different things you can do with this feature. Crowd seating. You can put... actually, it probably would be more like this. So we'll put that right there near the green. I will tell you, in a course that I'd made previously, I did sail one up into the stands, and it was sitting on one of the bleachers, and it made me play it from the bleacher. So it actually is interactive, and it tells you, it treats it like that. It treats it like you're sitting there, and you need to chip it off of the deck onto the green. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's very interactive. So that's that in a nutshell for the buildings. Now we're going to go to the fun stuff, the wildlife. Okay, so mammals. We have, the traditional things you see on every single golf course. So I'm pretty impressed by some of these. The detail in them is really, really cool. We'll zoom in, zoom out a little bit, spin around. That looks pretty good. Another thing that's nice is there's two of them on the screen. They're not making the same exact movement at the same time. Games have fallen trapped to that before, where they just do the same thing at the same time, and it doesn't look very good. It looks like they cheaped out on it. Looked like they, just didn't put enough into it. If you're playing up in the Great North, you've got your moose option, some horses, with some fences you can set up in like a little, like a little, equestrian area, a random goat. I've never seen a goat on a golf course. Sheep. We're gonna put a cow just because. I can rotate the cow. There he is. Alright, and have a special request. I gotta put the kangaroo. Kangaroo's gotta be somewhere. Hold on. Where's our bunker? And we're gonna put him over here by the green. And what is a tropical golf course if you don't have a gator on the green? We're going to put him in the bunker. No. Here we are. We're going to put him in the bunker. Probably making that kangaroo a little nervous over there, but... Alright, there's that. Now, another feature that this gives you is the option to add water, and it also gives the option to add some sea life. It only has the option for 4 different colors of koi fish, but it's still a really cool little detail, because when you zoom in and you see how small it is, it's not going to really show us too much, but there it is. That's how small it is. That's the tiny details, and when you look at in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about a very minor
thing that you're going to interact with very, very little. But the game is taking into consideration those little details, and those are little things that help put this game over the top. Insects, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know how many people are going to put at insects. I don't think I can. Oh, yeah. Okay. So they are pretty visible. Birds, you can put an eagle. He's going to be flying around a little bit. It'll actually put it up in the air, so you'll see the shadow more than anything. So here, that's this feature in a nutshell. I found that the best way to do is just dive into it, mess around with it, have some fun with it. And typically by about the third hole, you're really comfortable with navigating it, maneuvering through it. We're going to go back to go ahead and play this game. We're going to play this hole. We are going to play test. We're going to play this hole. We're going to give it a second here to load up, and we will give it a shot and see what kind of damage we can do. Alright, and one thing I did want to add, I did forget to add it, but we have the helipad, and what goes to helipad if you don't have a helicopter? There is a vehicles option. And if you have a lot of water, it gives the option to add boats, and some of these boats are very impressive, like yachts and things like that. A little sailboat, fishing boat, a lot of different options. You can add airplanes, you can add a blimp. The blimp it's pretty enormous. I don't know why we'd have that, but it's interesting. And of course, the helicopter you can put on the helipad. There are also cars, all different options, and what is happening here? It's a little detail that maybe we overlooked. We're going to tee off and give it a shot, though. This is due to me not setting a tee location. Which it gave me that option. I remember blowing right past it earlier on because I want to get in the video. But this gives you the option for the tee location. So hindsight, I will go back and fix that next time. Teeing off. Here we are, and missed it wide left, but got a nice little bounce back to the right. Now I'll be chipping down to the right of the kangaroo and the crocodile, as I'm trying to navigate and spin the camera, I accidentally hit a stroke. So we're going to just chip it up on the green here. 24 yards, 29 out. And up on the green, get a little bit of run out of it. Ooh. Alright, I can deal with that. And you're going to get a chance to putt for par. And we're going to spin around real quick just so you can see. There's your kangaroo. There's your crocodile. Little gator golf. I'm going to do it. Let's see what it does. Oh, I didn't hit it nearly hard enough. Alright, well, folks, that is the course designer analysis. Overall, I think it's a really, really great feature that they added into this game. You can go in and customize it. Your friends customize it. You guys can play each other's courses. All you have to do then is you just go and there's an option to publish the course at the menu. And then it actually puts it online and allows other people that you don't even know to play the course. So that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the round. All right, Jimmy?
All right, let's go back to the play mode here, Mike, and talk a little bit about, you just made a course or kind of took us through the courses, but the courses and what I think the heart of this game is that I guess Little Big Planet kind of comes to mind here, is that this game will never get old if you're a golf fan, of course, because the courses will always stay fresh because there's always going to be new user-generated courses.
Yeah, there'll be new user-generated courses, as well as, the nice thing about golf is you get different conditions every single time. So you could play the same hole and you've got wind coming in strong at 12 miles an hour or more, and then the next time you play that same exact course, you're looking at a crosswind or wind at your back, so you've got 40 yards difference between some of your drives sometimes. So there is a lot of life and long-term playability with this game.
Yeah, so just taking a look at some of the courses that people have made, as Mike mentioned, one course can play 3, 4, 5 different ways. So, that really creates hundreds of thousands of courses that this game is made. I have no idea how many courses are made. I know that, every time we come on here, you can't find one that you recently played, unless, of course, you go back to this menu and you see ones that you've already played, or ones that are rated by handicap, or ones that are trending, ones that you've favorited, ones that you've created, ones that your friends have played. So I think being able to find courses and tag them and remember them or explore new ones has been really cool. We have some of our favorites, but I think it's so cool to see what people do with that course creator that Mike just talked about a little bit ago, and how they make real courses. Because obviously there's no real licensing in this game. There's no clubs, there's no pro golfers, but people will take courses that really exist and customize them themselves. So if the community stays strong, this game will always be fresh.
Yeah, and there are a lot of filters, as we were talking about just a couple minutes ago, with that you can sort it by. You can sort it specifically by courses that were just added within the last week. You can sort it by the highest ranked courses by other players, and you can also sort it by just the ones that are created by the TGC courses or the golf club courses that were pre-built into the game.
I just saw one on here that says the winter is coming. I'm sure you'll appreciate that. It's a take on, I guess, Game of Thrones golf, but that's kind of cool just to play some of those gimmicky fun courses. So we're gonna hop into one. We're not gonna hop into the winter is coming. We're gonna hop into a TGC official course here really quick. We'll play Blackbrook Golf Club. So here we are on the course screen. It tells you a little bit about the speed of everything, so on and so forth. So from here you can either play a little bit of practice on this course or hop into a new round. Now here's where we kind of had a little bit of trouble with the golf club, and really the only knock that we've had on it is it wasn't super obvious how to join people or get involved with somebody multiplayer. Now there's a couple different ways you can play. You can play your traditional in-person pass the controller around multiplayer, which we've done, but that's not the way gaming is anymore. It's not, hey, you want to come over and play games? It's, hey, I'm in my basement, you're in your basement, let's play video games. And that's fine. It just took a little bit of getting used to. So on this screen right here, it would seem like, oh, I'm going to add a player and I'm going to add Mike. Well, it doesn't necessarily work like that. You add a guest. This is for when you're passing around the controller in the same venue. You can add a ghost, which is basically somebody who's played the course already. You can play alongside them and see what they did. But really, if I'm trying to play Mike right now, the only thing the best way to do it, the only way to do it, is I begin the round. So I'm loading up to begin the round, and then Mike's game will notify him that I'm playing, and then he can join me. Now what that kind of, for me, it's not a great thing, because if I don't want to play with Mike, sorry Mike, I don't really have that option anymore. He's going to get a notification and he's going to join me if he wants. So it's not really your traditional multiplayer game where I invite you to a game and you come play. You're just kind of getting a notification that one of your friends is on a course, and then you can hijack their round if you want, which of course is what I want you to do, but I don't like that much. So Mike will get his notification, which I'm assuming you did.
I did not.
Well, I'm not fully loaded up yet. So here's a quick look at the course, kind of a flyover of the first hole here. The graphics are beautiful. I think that's one of the big takeaways from this. Again, we go back to this game is all about the substance of golf and the look. There's not a lot of style or gimmicks or things like that. This is about just the pure look and the pure essence of golf. And golf is pretty sometimes when you get to go out and play these cool courses. All right, really quick, just to kind of a look at the course while Mike joins us. or get a look at the layout of the golf game. A traditional golf game, you got your information in the top left-hand corner about your round in this particular hole. There's wind there in the top middle, and then the top right is your conditions of this swing. I'm on a tee, so it should be, there's no obstruction on the shot. There's which club I'm using, and I can change that. And then I can change what type of shot I want to hit using square. And then there's the distance to the pin there right in the middle. So I want to hit this as hard as I can with a driver to try to get up on that green. Now I pull back with the right stick and up with the right stick, and that's how you swing and hit the ball. It's not the hit X to start the meter, hit X to stop the meter. It's your console golf game. And I think pulling back and pulling forward, Mike, has been kind of a challenge because getting used to that's not easy.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit different. I believe Tiger tried that, or they had it as an option, and the one year I think they set it as the default, and the next year they went back to mashing buttons. So, and then also similar games such as Madden, some of the other baseball games have attempted the same thing, and most of the others keep going back to the button pressing. The nice thing about this is you do get more of a different feel every time you hit the ball. You might have a little bit of a slice, might have a little bit of a draw or fade. If you bring it back too quickly, it'll tell you brought it back too quickly. If you brought it back too slow, it'll let you know all that. It gives you feedback in the bottom right-hand corner, and it's a nice way where you can kind of adjust. But on the other end, if you're in a slump, you're in a slump, and you do have a little bit of muscle memory that you do have to make sure that you're on point with if you want to put up some good scores.
Which, oddly enough, that's how golf works. You muscle memory, you do it over and over again.
Okay, you're about
So
140 yards out here.
Golf simulation. Were you ever able to join the game?
I have not gotten any kind of a notification.
All right, we'll see if you can find the thing where it's like what your friends are doing.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Options.
yeah, you hit the green and under regulation on this one. Sink this next putt.
Friends.
Oof.
Putts would just drop
It
sometimes.
says you are online.
All right, about a 3-footer here.
There you are.
That's a solid birdie. Great job out there.
Now I just got it.
All right.
Okay, 1 under for the round.
Well, I'll wait for you to catch up because I want to show you teeing off on the third hole. I already have to edit this together anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal.
Cool. That was an interesting feedback.
What?
He just said, looks like you have a live ghost on your scorecard. You two have fun with that. That's what he just said. I'm like, all right, we will. We will have fun with this. Is this a TCG or TGC official course, Jimmy?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And teeing off. And get to the green. Oh. Just shy of the green.
So when you get caught up, we'll talk about the really the only way you can have different skills or attributes, so to speak.
Alright.
You know, the different
Where are
clubs.
Nice, clean drive.
Yes.
Like you're on Pro or Tour or whatever you're on.
Yeah. Oh, you're done with 2 holes already?
Yeah, I'm on the 3rd hole.
Okay. Alright, hole number 2. Whoops. That was terrible. Ugh. In the sand. Okay. Stop. There we go. And for par. Oh no, this is a birdie. That was for par.
We're
How
the
can that
same.
count? Yes. Yes. Alright.
You're good?
We are good.
You ready to tee off?
Let's go.
Alright, so we're going to show you what we were talking about when you have a multiplayer friend playing with you. So Mike's going to hit his tee shot right now, and you'll get to see kind of live what they call the ghost of Mike's shot. So when he hits his shot,
So we've got 10
Now-
mile per hour wind coming in.
I also noticed the shadows are changing, which I had not noticed before. It got darker and then lighter. You can hit your shot here. There we go.
I was
So there's
really lining it up.
there's Mike's shot going, and so that's how you play. You can play concurrently. It kind of speeds the game up a little bit instead of turn by turn. Turn by turn was fun because then it kind of the pressure was on for you to hit your shot in front of your friend or your opponent. Here you can just play concurrently, and I can see his ball kind of flopping around as we play. Now, one of the differences between Mike and I is Mike's playing with an aggressive set of clubs, and I'm playing with the
Nice.
medium set of clubs. And Mike, why don't you talk about
9-footer
kind of the
here.
differences between the two?
You can do this.
So the biggest difference I've noticed is well, there are a
that was
couple,
slightly
but the number one biggest thing is you get bigger drives, you get more distance on your
4 feet to the
shots.
hole. You can do this.
But as a casualty of that, you also have much less forgiveness. And if you mishit it, it's gonna be mishit a long way.
Okay, here we go.
You know, there are advantages to it. You know, in certain situations, you can drive the green on par 4s. You know, you can try and shave some strokes that way. However, it comes with, just like real golf, you know, the more aggressive you are with it, the higher the risk, but also higher potential reward.
So the golf club went with that kind of mentality instead of buying clubs, you know, the new
10-footer
tailor-made clubs or the new whatever it is. You have 3 choices. It's like a easy, medium, and difficult set of clubs. The easy clubs are very forgiving, but they don't hit the ball very far. The medium clubs that I use are medium forgiving, and you get medium distance. And then what Mike uses, he uses the hit the ball as far as you can with the least forgiveness possible, and that's how he plays. So that's really the only customization you have, other than just being better at the game between the 2 players.
All right, so
Coming
we are
off a
even
par
through
on the
4.
last one. Let's see what happens here.
So we'll play another hole just to kind of give you a good idea about how this works. So here's one of the instances where we need a little bit of golf trickery to. We're going to set this ball to draw to the left.
Did you go to your driver?
I went to the driver, and we're going to see how this goes. Took a hard left turn,
All right, looking good so far.
and we are going to be good, right on the fairway. So there's just, golf. That's some of the simulation stuff you got to do.
I hit trees.
And Mike hit a tree. So there you go.
It's very realistic.
Good rocking back and forth. Good feedback. Roll this one right up there. Perfect shot. I'm going to love ending the video on this one.
The bird.
I managed to hit 2 trees.
Oh, tapping in
On
from
the same hole.
birdie. Not too shabby.
Well, I got my birdie, so that's what I needed to end the video. So there's you get to see the scorecards as we go, as we'll continue to play this. But Mike, final thoughts on the Golf Club 2 and our time with it?
It's really great to have a competent golf game. Even though it doesn't have the names and the some of the other things that come along with golf. It's a very solid performing golf simulator that has a lot of life to it and gives you a lot of still has quite a bit of customizable options.
Yeah, I think that it's it's not even like a trimmed down version. It's a really deep golf simulator that has a great playability. And as Mike said, sure, it's missing the names and the companies and the brands and all that, but it's just a good golf simulator that plays really well, plays true, and the physics are great, the customization's great replayability. We highly recommend it. We're going to finish this round, but thanks for watching, and go grab yourself a copy if you love golf video games, because this is a great one. Thanks for watching. This is Mike and Jimmy for the Gaming Graduate Grader.